Hi. So, I was a vegetarian for 8 months. Let me start from the beginning. In middle school, my mom was vegetarian. She's not now. She wishes she could be. Anyway, and, she started showing me videos and such of farm factories and everything, and I kind of just didn't want to think about it, and I kind of pushed it back in my head. I'm like, yeah, I love animals, but I love eating meat, whatever. And then, I don't know, but on the other side, I always liked little things where I didn't eat meat. I didn't eat a lot at my mom's. I don't know. I guess people, when they eat meat, they're like, I don't eat that much. But, when you watch them and you don't, you're like, that's so much. But, I don't know. I liked little things where I remember, even though I wasn't Catholic, I was, brought up, and then up until, I was 12, I was or when I was 12, I was like, no. But I guess even before, I remember in elementary school, you couldn't eat meat on Fridays, and I always, really enjoyed doing that, having an excuse, or whatever, because if you say you're vegetarian, people are like, ah, I'm like, oh, it's because religion or stuff, or, I don't know, just random. I remember one time I gave up pig or pork or whatever for Lent. I don't know, and I felt like I always, had little things. But anyway, I ate meat. And then when I was 15, in sophomore year of high school, wow, and now I'm going into sophomore year of college. Ooh. Anyway, in health class, we watched Food Inc. And it shows factory farms, and you sit there in an hour in class. Well, I think it was over the course of 2 or 3 class periods, because high schools, it was 55 minutes class. Anyway, we watched Food Inc. That was at the end of the year, so May, June, and then I feel like it was sitting me with a while. I don't think I was I'm gonna go vegetarian, but it was just kind of that movie was just in my head. And then at the sleepaway camp I was going to for a 2-week session, they have a vegetarian option always. Oh, this was also my last year at camp. Anyway, this was 2012, by the way. And I was like, you know what? Spot on. I don't even know if I had, meat for breakfast. And it's, because, usually I'm an all or nothing, in the morning, but, this, I'm being so complicated. Anyway, right then and there, during dinner, I was just I'm gonna have a vegetarian meal for 2 weeks, 3 square meals a day. It'll be super easy. I can just do it, or whatever, because I didn't have to, think of, what do vegetarian, even though it's not difficult to think of that, but, and then I did it, and then from then on, I didn't even think, even though it was a spot-on thing, I didn't plan it. I never was oh, I'm just trying this out for a while. I was I'm a vegetarian now. I was just okay. I started, and I was yeah, I'm a vegetarian. I said that right away. I was not oh, I'm just gonna see this. I was just boom. I didn't transition or anything. It was just spot on. And then I kept it a secret from my dad and my stepmom for 2 months, and then my mom for maybe a few weeks or whatever. I don't know. I told my mom, but then my mom or my grandma told my dad. But anyway, because they were about that. And then I was yeah, I'm not contributing to animal suffering or whatever, because I did it for the animals. I mean, there is health benefits, and then it also benefits humans too, and then the earth, and the environment, and all this stuff. But I mean, the sole reason was to not contribute to killing of animals. But then I realized, so I was vegetarian for 8 months, and then I realized through the learning about online eggs, how the chickens are grind up, and the baby chickens or whatever, I mean, they're kept in these small spaces, the chickens, and then the cows, they're forced to be artificially pregnated. They stick their arm up. They're and humans, and they're kept in these also small spaces. Everything's small spaces, even free range. And then milk, I mean, is the baby's, not the not humans, it's for baby cows. And then, and then if it's a male, the male cow, baby cow, gets off to be veal, so meat, because it can't give birth, and it can't produce milk, whatever. So I realized that I was still contributing, even as a vegetarian, to animal suffering and animal murder and animal confinement and torture and everything. So then, I don't know how long I waited, really. I don't know my thought process. I don't know why I don't remember. It was March 13th. This was planned, but I don't know how long I was planning. But anyway, I was like, in the morning, I'm going to be... Because I remember, I thought I was like, oh, I'm going to buy this, like, something that has milk in it. And I bought this stupid shake thing, and it didn't even taste good. I was like, whatever. Anyway, and I was just like, woke up, and I packed a lunch or whatever. I think I bought stuff from the night before. I don't even know. I actually was, like, about to drink or was drinking this thing, and I didn't know whey had milk. But I was like, oh. And I, like, learned that whey didn't have milk, and I just cut it out. And my mom brought Ferrero Rochers, which are were my favorite candies. And I was like, oh, of course you do that. But I was just, like, not having it. I was like, I'm mad that you didn't get those yesterday. But I was just like, nope. I didn't transition, just like I didn't transition to vegetarian. I didn't transition into vegan. I was just like, and now I am. So I was just like, boom, right away. If you need to transition, that's fine. It's better than not doing it at all, but, I just didn't. I didn't need to transition at all. I just, right away. So I was 16 by then. That was March 13th, 2013. And then, of course, it's not only diet, it's also the clothes, not buying leather, wool, which, by the way, side note, wool, though hypothetically you can, shearing a sheep is fine, but in the wool industry, they do not shear them well at all. They cut them up, they're all bloody, and they're also confined. It's just, anyway. Also buying only, makeup and products that are not tested on animals and vegan, cruelty-free. So, it's funny because when you think cruelty-free, to me, I automatically think vegan because if it has animal products, it's not cruelty-free, but when you're looking for stuff, cruelty-free means not tested on animals, and vegan means no animal ingredients, even though technically in my mind those are interchangeable or not. So vegan doesn't always mean cruelty-free, and cruelty-free doesn't always mean vegan, though vegan usually means cruelty-free, but cruelty-free itself, check if it has like beeswax and stuff, or whatever thing. It just means not tested on animals, and of course I'd rather you have cruelty-free than not do anything at all. Anyway. Change of scenery, because my camera died, so I had to charge it. But yeah, that was just essentially the story of how I came to be vegetarian then vegan, and I grew up, by the way, completely around, like, meat-centered family and or, like, standard American food, I don't know. And, besides from my mom being vegetarian, just, like, when I was, like, 11, 12, 13 or whatever, my dad and my stepmom both eat meat, my stepdad did, and, like, my extended family all does, and, like, currently now my grandma doesn't, and my mom, like, recently is starting not to again, and my grandma's pescatarian. But anyway, like, my whole family, like, my dad's side, and everyone really, like, they all eat meat and everything, or do eat meat, and I did and everything, and although I was, like, curious about vegetarian and then curious about vegan, I still had a lot of excuses, and, like, I still was that person who was like, oh, I want to be vegetarian, but I love steak. I have a video, it's still up, it's called Vegetarianism and Other Things, it's from 2011, and so, example of me, I was eating meat, but I was very curious in vegetarianism, and the other girl in that is Lorelai, and she was at the time pescatarian. Now she eats meat. Anyway, and then I have another video called More Thoughts and it's from 2012, and that it was 2 months vegetarian by then. And so you can kind of see my different stages of thoughts of when I ate meat, but I was talking about vegetarian. And then when I was vegetarian, but I was still kind of like had some old thought. I wasn't gonna go back. I was still like I'm vegetarian forever. But I even mentioned like I wouldn't go full-fledged vegan. I can kind of see like my thoughts at different stages and everything. I wasn't raised vegetarian or vegan and everything. I came to those terms on my own and through my own findings. And I, before, have had so many different levels of thoughts and opinions and what I thought was right and everything. And then I progressed, and I'm still progressing and everything. But I just want to let you like know like it. Everybody has that point, and most vegans have had that point where they have one time in their life said, I wish I could be vegetarian, but I love steak, and then I wish I could be vegan, but I love cheese, and then you just get over it. I mean, just you learn. I mean, yeah, there's okay. If you really do love cheese, there's vegan cheese, so you can literally substitute that. But it's more than that. Like even if there wasn't vegan cheese, I would still be vegan. You know, it's about much more than just like taste. Vegan food is delicious, and that's a really good plus. But I think it's something beyond that. So yeah, that was just my story of how I became to be, not like really how. I mean, just like I there was no like how to do it. I just did. I just kind of went for it. I don't know. And I don't know. So that was my story, if you were wondering. Yeah. So okay. Bye. Thanks for watching.